Now, the U.S. president says that Washington is seriously considering the possibility of building a permanent military base in Poland. Donald Trump made the statements during a joint press conference with visiting Polish President Andrzej Duda. The U.S. president said a fellow NATO country's fear of Russian aggression is justified. He said Duda has indicated Warsaw is willing to pay billions for American military presence. Speaking at the presser, Duda said that permanent U.S. presence in Poland would be the only guarantee of security against Russia. Now, Moscow insists it will not tolerate NATO expansion on its borders. We're joined now in Washington, D.C. by Mr. James Joshua, a former U.S. Senate foreign policy analyst. Hello, Mr. Joshua. Thanks for joining us back on the program. Your thoughts on this story, please.
Mr. Trump said considering it. Evidently, he has not made a final decision. I hope he considers it and decides not to do this. But if there is a decision to put a permanent U.S. military base in Poland, you can basically tear up the NATO-Russia Founding Act, by which both sides declare that they're not adversaries. Maybe that's just a recognition of reality that that Russia is NATO's enemy, is the designated enemy, and one that all of its deployments are directed against. And of course, the Russians know this as well.
I mean, as of today, I mean, isn't NATO as strong as it can be? I mean, does it really need to, encircle more of, around Russian territory? I mean, it's already expanded as much as it really needs to expand. I think Duda possibly could be over-exaggerating the threat from Russia to his territory.
Oh, he's not over-exaggerating the threat. There is no threat, and I think Mr. Duda knows that. This, unfortunately, is part of the way a lot of Polish nationalists see things, that anti-Russianism is just part of their ideological outlook. There's nothing really that can be said about it. The question is, why should the United States be involved in this? We have no defensive need in a place like Poland or the Baltic states or Romania or the Black Sea or the Baltic Sea. It's not a question of what's enough. It's a question of why are we doing this at all? And there simply is no Russian threat. This is all offensive in its direction, and it's directed against Moscow.
And would it benefit the U.S. to have another a huge military base there stationed or established in Poland?
Not in any way whatsoever. It would benefit us to, frankly, get out of NATO and shut this thing down and come home. We have no reason to be there. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Whatever Mr. Trump's original intentions were with regard to easing tensions with Russia, the fact is that's not going to happen. Whether it's because part of the team that he surrounded himself with, whether it's the pressure he's been put under by this phony Russia collusion story, the fact of the matter is he's spinning like a wheel, doing what, say, Jeb Bush or Hillary Clinton would have done in his place.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. James Joshua, out of Washington, D.C., former U.S. Senate foreign policy analyst. Thanks for your input.